All right.
So we are the final trailer. We were given a request.
Oh yes. Well, I want to give a shout out to.
We got a name?
Not off the top of my head, but I don't have my phone on me.
Guys sitting over us with us in the shot.
I'll put his name up. But thank you. We had a request. We are going to cover the new trailer.
That was the day it all came crashing down.
Oh, I know, right? So I guess we'll start with the Batman v Superman news. I guess we'll just start talking about the trailer. So,
it was. Oh man, they know what we're after. They know what we want. Oh my God,
Left to right, Darren. What do you think of the trailer?
Well, the trailer. All right, so it started off. It's amazing. Like for me, it felt very comic booky. Like you have Alfred. If you haven't seen it, I hope you have. It's Alfred in the back.
Just the thing with the hands.
He's with the hands.
Yeah, he loosens up.
I'll drop you off at the second floor.
Master Bruce.
He brings them in, and it's like Batman just going to town. He's doing his Batman stuff. Alfred's because many times in the comic books you've read where Alfred's in the Batcave. He's helping Batman.
Right.
Where if it's not Oracle.
I think he's on remote. I think he is in the Batcave. He's on remote in the Batcave, and he's piloting the Batplane from the Batcave.
You think he's piloting? Oh,
yes.
yeah.
I don't think Batman would allow Alfred to be that close to the danger.
No, I mean he knows.
Yeah.
He's been in the game for like 20 years.
But he's totally cool. Master Bruce, there are thermal imaging shows there are 24 hostiles on the 3rd floor. How about I drop you off on the 2nd?
He's definitely in the Batcave. But I love the whole. It felt very comic book.
I think he's going to steal the movie.
Taking him out, and then that scene where he just really throws him into the ground.
Right.
Punches that dude into the floor.
And then the rest of the trailer stuff, I mean, we've already seen.
Well, I mean, there was that new interaction with Bruce Wayne and Wonder Woman, Diana.
I believe you ever known a woman like me. They showed the flying Amazon scream strike.
I thought that was awesome. I have it. I put it on. Did you guys see it on the Facebook page?
She's no shrinking violet, let me tell you.
No.
She goes flying. She does this whole. She's got the sword in one hand and the shield in the other, and she goes sideways attacking.
Right.
We don't see who she's attacking. It's probably Doomsday.
It's probably Doomsday.
Because there's the fire everywhere. But yeah, I wonder if it's going to be one of those things where we don't get to see her actually throw down until towards the end of the film.
I think it's gonna be like maybe it's gonna be like the trailer where like she essentially comes in and saves their asses.
That could be.
Like we've talked about.
And that would make the
perfect. She definitely looks like somebody who'd save their ass.
With you? I thought she was with you.
You gotta put the comedy in there.
Just a little bit. And that ending with that block punch is like.
That was the very best part.
That was one of the best parts.
The look on Superman's face was like, what?
What?
And it reminded me of World's Finest when Batman throws him across the room in that one episode. The look of incredulity on his face was like, "What? You just throw me across the room?"
I know, right? He's like, "What is going on here?"
We see a scene in the trailer where Superman just launches Batman. Like, okay, well, that would make sense. Superman would do that, but
right.
What's blocking him?
He wasn't ready for that one.
Is there kryptonite in there? I don't know.
Are they going to introduce kryptonite into that universe? Because it wasn't introduced in Man of Steel.
I was talking to my kid about that.
Scott Snyder was very strict. He didn't want it in the movie. He didn't want any kind of weakness.
And I think that, and I think the reason why it's a cop out. It's a cop out. It's like a cheat. It's like a cheat code. It's as if you want to find a way to beat the guy that uses his something else than that thing, because that's what everyone's always used.
I remember in the cartoons, there's always an excuse to have that like B-list villain actually put up a chance against Superman through the commercial break. You know what I'm saying? And,
Metallo.
Although Malcolm McDowell was so awesome as the voice of Metallo.
Oh yeah, he's a great character, but he's got the inherent hit. The only thing he had going for him was kryptonite, and it's kind of like later on, of course, in the Elseworlds, The Dark Knight Returns. That was what he had going for him in the Gotham suit. I don't think he can do that here. So
that's a question. I mean, that's a question. We'll see if they'll introduce that. But I also want to say, I think me and Darren were talking about this when I was picking him up. I think we were talking about this. I want to say this, that the fight choreography looked incredibly clean, and I thought the fight choreography looked fantastic. I mean, I liked how it wasn't. I was comparing it to Batman Begins, which was very quick.
Yeah.
And it was like there was more reactions. Like you knew he was throwing punches, but it was always like the reaction shot, or you always saw the guy get hit or whatever. But you never actually saw the connect because it was too quick, and it was always kind of flashing between characters, which they like to do in a lot of movies in the mid 2000s. But I like how they're slowing it down and it's more clean. I mean, he is an older Batman. He's not. He even said it. He was like, "I'm not as fast as I used to be." You know what I'm saying, Alfred? But we know he's a badass because he was. But I like that because he's more methodical. He's forced to be more methodical because he is older, because his reaction time is that much slower. Even just a little bit, but even that just a little bit is a difference.
Not only but because this is, I'm gonna go out on a limb and I'm gonna say this is the only real hand-to-hand combat fight scene in the film that doesn't involve Batman and Superman either fighting each other or Doomsday.
Right.
Because which would mean that they could really focus on those aspects of that fight. They got the one fight. It's the big deal. It shows what Batman's still capable of within this context.
But that's all we've seen.
That's all we've seen, but I think it's all we're going to see because ultimately the movie is about the two of them going up against each other, and that's CGI City. So, yes, great fight scene. We may have got our... I don't think it's going to shoot our wad just yet, but...
I mean, I'm pretty excited. I really liked how you actually got that. I was really excited to hear what Wonder Woman sounded like, because I've never actually seen Gal Gadot in any movie. I didn't even know who she was.
Yes, I didn't either.
Wonder Woman.
You know what? I don't even want to see Fast and the Furious. I just want to see this.
Exactly. And I was really excited just to see her, just the interaction between her and Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
Which I thought was really cool.
And I was talking to my wife about it. She was like, wait a minute, why isn't it? Because she read Dark Knight Strikes Again, which is the fourth place of that whole Wonder Woman Superman thing. And I'm all, it would seem, and I hope that this is true, is that they're going with kind of the JLA thing, because in Justice League, Batman and Superman, or Batman and Wonder Woman did have a thing, and it was kind of based on the fact that because he was such a dogged and determined alpha male human, she just had this kind of attraction to him because he was such a human,
it's what he's essentially although it's funny you said that, because he's essentially to Diana, because there's a big series about it, Superman and Wonder Woman. I mean, it's to Diana, he is essentially like the apex of humanity.
Yeah.
But he's not even human.
No.
And which is funny, because that's always what he always tries to be as a person in out of, he's not from Earth. He's essentially, I mean, he was created as an immigrant superhero. He immigrated to Earth as a young child, and like she essentially, his whole thing was he was brought up and he was like strived to be essentially that representative of humanity, and that's what Diana sees in him. But the irony is that he's not even human.
And the real
but he has more humanity. Let's put General Zod aside than most humans do, which is kind of the irony between there. So you can kind of see what the dichotomy is and what kind of draws them together.
And therein you might have the message of the movie, him having to realize his humanity, because I see a lot of arrogance coming from his character in the previews. At any rate, it's
arrogance. I mean, I don't think it's so much arrogance. More like he's more cynical. Like he's incredibly cynical that comes off as arrogance.
Well, think about this. We given the scenes in the beginning where, in the preview, where he obviously goes before Congress, right?
Right.
Do you think he gets any kind of penalties leveled against him? I doubt it. They would just say, "Okay, you're right. You had to do what you had to do. We're sorry we lost half of Metropolis. We mourn the people who died, but you're Superman, and that's gonna piss him Batman off more than anything."
Bruce Wayne goes to Washington.
Yeah.
Bruce Wayne goes to Washington. That'll be the sequel.
Yeah. Bruce Wayne goes to Washington. It's a filibuster. It's a filibuster.
Bringing in kryptonite and thinking that it's a weakness, it's a cop out, or
right.
You said earlier.
It's kind of a cheat.
You look at sometimes depending on who's writing or what continuity is in.
Right.
Batman always has a little piece of kryptonite just in case. And you know who gave him that kryptonite?
Superman. Superman did.
And he's always like, I'm glad you're the man again. I never regret that.
Well, and I would love to see that idea explored to some extent, because what you're saying ultimately is that Superman has a self-awareness.
Right.
He has a self-awareness, and that means that he is willing to learn humanity, even if he himself is not human. Because in order to let yourself be vulnerable is to be human.
Right.
We go through life vulnerable in every moment of our lives, right?
Superman loves
That's true. And for Superman too. I'm sorry, Sarah.
No, Superman loves pink very much, Lois.
I like pink very much.
Well, that's the whole thing too. Is like he ultimately has no weaknesses except for weaknesses he essentially creates, or they created around him. Kryptonite or emotion, which
love
are
for
all
humanity.
with humanity. Which you got to look at General Zod. He had no humanity, so he went in there and wrecked house in Metropolis.
Yeah.
But I like that how Bruce Wayne essentially, like I said in the last podcast about essentially Bruce Wayne is essentially the voice of the voice of the everyday man, the voice of the pedestrian,
and
he is the person who was on the street watching all that destruction happen, saving people, watching people die. Like
he is the apex of humanity, but that's always had been my argument, especially when it comes to this whole question, which the film is powerless to not make something of. Who wins? It doesn't matter. What matters is that the two of them need each other.
Right.
You got Superman as the biggest, most powerful being on Earth, and you have Batman, who's probably the mightiest mortal on Earth.
Exactly.
And
he can't so much be so much the champion of the people, since of because he's a billionaire playboy.
Right.
He can be the voice of
his philanthropy is beyond most of what Bruce
Wayne Foundation.
But it's a lot of what they do is underneath. He doesn't try to be too. It's almost as if he tries to be less visible with the philanthropy than he does with the playboy thing because of the alter ego.
Right. Well, the Playboy thing is always secondary within a lot of the series. I mean, it's always like you always see him every once in a while, but it's either to get information or every once in a while he has to go out. Although there was a series in Grant Morrison. I'm sorry, I don't know why I pointed you so ironically. But like I'm like, you know this. But like it ironic.
It's your fault.
I gotta make my point. They did introduce Jezebel Jet in the Grant Morrison storyline, and we also ultimately found out that she was essentially the femme fatale in the end. But in the moment, for a few issues, for a while there, I know spoiler. I know. Send the hate tweets. But she was essentially filled that void, and we know that every once in a while Bruce Wayne does take a break from that persona. But does he ever really take a break from that persona? I don't think so.
We're gonna get into that.
It's almost like he takes vacations into Bruce Wayne every once in a while. Anyway, we're going on.
No, you're right, Mike. That's the key to the character because you do like Batman that's his true self. You know, Bruce Wayne kind of died when his parents.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But the thing is, also there's
the Kill Bill monologue.
Absolutely.
Yep.
There's that key thing to the flip side where a long time my Batman producer Michael Wilson, he goes, people ask me like, who's playing Batman in the next movie? Well, it's kind of irrelevant. The real question is who's playing Bruce Wayne? Because that's the key of the movie.
Right.
Who's playing Bruce Wayne? So.
I agree. Because
the Bruce Wayne that Affleck is playing obviously never shaves.
He's got the 5 o'clock shadow.
He's up all night. He doesn't have to shave.
He doesn't have time to shave. He's too busy saving people from Superman.
It's almost as if though the producers at some level were reading about oh yeah, Bruce Wayne doesn't remember being Batman and he has a beard.
Right.
People don't want to see him in that beard wearing the bat suit. Let's give Bruce Wayne a beard.
We just think they never give him a beard because you think it looks so terrible in that cow. Like how would a beard look in the cow? It looks terrible.
Sitting in the Batcave with a silver tray of shaving. No.
Yes.
No.
Monster Bruce.
It's like a fresh. He's like,
you know,
he's
he's
like a razor right here and a fresh razor, and like he's ready to shave him.
A colleague of mine in the Crimean War lost half his face because of not
half
shaving.
his face. I swear. Anyway, I guess to close up, if you've gone on a tangent, but to close up on the trailer, it was sick. I am super excited. Thought choreography was awesome. I'm looking forward. I just want to real quickly.
Are we gathering Friday, the 25th? I'm going into work to request the next day off. So
for what?
For Batman v Superman Friday night. Are we down? Are we gonna do it?
Yeah, I'm down.
I promised my wife I would. So
I'm down.
That's where you'll find us.
But I guess I'm looking forward to seeing just real quick because I want to see I'm really looking forward to see how their bromance starts. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think we're gonna see any bromance at this stage.
No bromance, but there's gonna be a bromance in the sense that it's gonna be like Batman going.
Yeah. After the crap, after the don't go to your light crap, I would like to see some mutual respect. I'll be okay with that.
That'll be a fist bump.
Fist bump. Wow, we went deep on that one.
That's the push.
Well, thank you.
The fist bump is the push in the preview.
Well, before we move on, I just want to say thank you for the gentleman who requested that we watch the trailer. Well, here you go.
Here you go. That's what we think of it. We think it's badass, and everyone who hasn't seen it should see it.
And please, if you want to see us cover more, just let us know in the comments below on Facebook, on my YouTube channel, wherever you catch us. Just leave us alone and we'll listen.
Yeah.
We read these things.
We're starting to beat the publishing schedule in the comic books, so we'll do stuff.
Exactly.